again to Long Island, and I get to see the Tartufo place. I didn't tell you about that yet, but there's a guy in Long Island who sells a kind of dessert called Tartufo, and he showed it to me. Oh, my hat. Don't want to blind you. Because I'm so bright, you know, I'm so bright. My dad calls me son. Today's topic is incantations.
Please reduce speed.
Oh.
I don't know if you could hear the little voice say, "Please reduce speed." I was going 75 miles an hour down a hill in a 65-mile-an-hour zone, but as it turns out, I looked later and it didn't affect my safety score, so I guess I backed down fast enough.
Then it goes this way in the flow chart, or if it's lower than 5, it goes this way in the flow chart. And so it's like whenever or if then kind of statements. Whenever there's this kind of energy that comes into my life, then I bind it for this purpose. Oh, look at that jet. What a good time to be flying into the sunrise. So an example, if I feel my own energy, not coming from outside, but just something from myself, and it's a particular kind of energy, maybe it's desire. If I feel that energy and I want to convert it into something more useful than desire, I bind it, and then I convert it to money into my bank account, or I convert it into someone else's desire, and it goes in a pattern. So every time it comes up, I don't have to keep doing it. Or sometimes I just remind myself of the pattern, of the incantation I've already set up, and then I don't have to think about it each time. It just goes where it's supposed to. Energy that comes from outside of myself, especially if it's designed to harm me, I put a magnifier on. I give myself permission to magnify that power 10 times. And then if somebody sends a specific kind of intention towards me, I'll bind that specific intention for a specific purpose. So if somebody's trying to make me anxious, I'll use that to get something else I want from life. And a good example would be money. I will just say when that kind of intention comes, I magnify it 10 times and I direct it into my bank account. And as the day goes on, any kind of annoying, habitual energy that's being sent my way, or that I'm feeling myself, if it keeps happening, that's a perfect time to use an incantation, because then I just put it somewhere else in a pattern. In the past, I've talked about efficacy. Even if it's batshit crazy, if it works, why not? Now, when I notice whether the money shows up or not, and it has been, the result, even without any obvious change in my status, is that I don't think about whatever's annoying me or whatever's causing me anxiety. I just put that in the bank, and whether I see the dollars or not, I stop feeling anxious. If this is happening at the metaphysical level, if any energy is being sent to me by the cabal in my head, or any other, like maybe you'd call them angels or demons, or Illuminati, or whatever you want to say, for the metaphysical realm, if there is a consistent pattern of malice being sent towards me, I find instant relief in my attitude, in my mood, when I set up an incantation. So if it works, why not use it? Here's the outer bridge crossing into New York. Filmed at a very good time, I think. I'm looking forward to seeing this.
The exit on the right to Route 440 north toward Staten Island Expressway.
Saw the outer crossing bridge. This is the Verrazano Bridge. On Brooklyn-Queens Expressway.
In 1 mile, take exit 17 on the right toward 92nd Street, then take the first left.
No, not gonna do that. Yorkers are very situational. They see what the traffic is doing in one way, one lane, and then they decide in the moment, and then they dart if they decide a different way is better. Then you have the motorcycles that drive in between the lanes, and the cars that drive on the shoulder. Hey, that's pretty weird right there. A signal ahead of time and then not darting into the lane. That guy must not be from around here. We are moving nicely. I also find energy that feels like resistance. And people make fun of me, my children especially, when I think that inanimate objects are resisting me. Some objects just don't cooperate. Some objects never cooperate, and other objects have their days. And when I feel that kind of resistance, not just in objects, but in situations, in the way things play out, sometimes it's just so obvious to me from my batshit perspective that there's resistance to what I'm trying to do. Sometimes it's ridiculously obvious. And when it's like that, I drain that. I feel like I'm draining it the way I drain a headache. I drain that energy right into my bank account, into my spiritual bank account, and benefit. I profit from that, from resistance. I'm improved by it, not just because it makes me stronger, like resistance training, but because of that draining technique. I steal the energy, I co-opt it, and I use it for a different purpose. If I had an umbrella and it was raining, I would take the rain would not hit me. And that'd be good when you feel resistant to energy, but even better if you can collect the rainwater and use it for whatever you want. I can't remember if I said this earlier, but weariness is something you can drain. You'd think that weariness is a lack of energy, that you're already drained. But if you drain weariness, you end up with enough. You have enough energy usually in reserve, as long as your spirits are up. So draining weariness is useful. And also, while we're at it, I think you could drain shame in the same way, and guilt, as you are becoming magnificent and feeling worthy of everything that the universe wants to bestow on you.
Keep left on Seaford Oyster Bay Expressway, then exit right.
Oh, this is one of those stupid places where she says keep left, but you have to be in the right lane. She does this right before Highway 76 when you're on 476 northbound. She says keep left.
Take exit 13E on the right to I-495 East.
It's a lot like shifting your emotions into neutral. When you do that, you're not really blasé, you're not neutral. It feels so good not to have the gaslighting. It feels so good not to have the guilt and the shame, that it feels like bliss. Just by getting rid of the things that you don't need.